You're watching a clip from the Club podcast.
Make sure you follow it on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and give it a 5-star review.
What's happening, everyone, and welcome to the Club. We have a wonderful clip on its way to you right now, but before we get into it, I need to let you know that this clip is brought to you and powered by the wonderful people of NordVPN. It is an incredible service, and it is so affordable. It's so cheap. It is comparable to the price of one cup of coffee. So make sure that you head over to NordVPN for all of your VPN needs. One account will equal to 6 devices. So you sign up with one account and 6 different devices can access NordVPN. It is so affordable. It is so cheap. It is such a wonderful service. I cannot recommend it highly enough. And the best part is there is zero jeopardy. Basically, if you try it out and for some reason you don't like it, there is a 30-day money-back guarantee. Crucially too, if you want to see goals, if you ever tune into Twitter on social media and the goal is geographically restricted, that's no longer a problem. It is the gift that keeps giving. Thank you so much to NordVPN. NordVPN have been kind enough to partner with us and support the club. We would ask that you would support them for all of your VPN needs.
We've got one of your favourites, which is a prime debate. And the 3 players to debate who is the best out of these 3 in the Premier League: Harry Kane, Sergio Aguero, and Alan Shearer.
God, it's easy, isn't it?
It's not even a question, it's Harry Kane.
Kane versus Aguero.
Aguero shouldn't be in the conversation.
We know who's third. It's Harry Kane because ultimately it's not just about skill. It's about goals contributing towards trophies. That's what you got to do. It's the hardest thing in the world to win trophies and score goals doing it. And Kane's done none of that at any level. The biggest moment of his career,
he's better than
England
both.
even, he bottled it.
He's better than both.
No, he's not.
Yeah,
he's not. He's got a worse goal to game ratio than Sergio Aguero. He's won less trophies than Alan Shearer. Scored less goals.
Better forward than both.
He's number 3 guaranteed. Whatever you lads think, I'm open to it. But he's not number 1 or 2.
Honestly, I'm really thinking about this now, trying to not be tribal about it at all. And I rate Shearer so highly. I think he's amazing. But is Harry Kane a better footballer than Alan Shearer?
No. Yeah, of course he is, yeah.
He does more all-round things.
Hang on.
Harry Kane gets undue stick. He's not rated highly enough.
No,
he really isn't.
I agree with you. So no, in terms of talking about Alan Shearer, look, I mean, the record of the amount of goals is just ridiculous.
Well, Kane will beat
but
that record.
football was very different then. It was harder to score.
Of course it is.
It's harder to score goals now.
No, I do.
You don't.
Only injury will stop it.
Even if, I think he will break it.
And do you know, I have to say this: the all-round stuff that Harry Kane does, the kind of link-up play, it looks good on the eye. Has it made him a better player? Has it made him a striker? Has it actually made him successful?
I don't understand why you have to pick him apart, though.
Because people are saying he's an all-round better player. Well, actually, I want him to just be a striker. And at the moment, his goals...
What you want him to be is nothing to do with it.
It's not about me. It's about people use the argument, Harry Kane can do more than Alan Shearer. He could do more than this, that, the other. Okay, what's the link-up play that he does at Spurs ever done for anyone? Really? He's linked up play. He's linked up some average fullback. He's brought Danny Rose into the game.
Son and
offside, you idiot.
Yeah, Son and Kane have the best combination.
What we saw last season was fantastic in the single spectrum of a single Premier League season
more than any other team.
Yeah,
that's down to Kane's.
Where'd you come last season? 4th.
Exactly. So we're talking about his individual.
But whoever set up this debate is not fair for Kane because is Kane the best striker in the league right now? Yeah, he is. Is he anywhere near what Sergio Aguero did?
Well, Rashford probably.
Do you think he's better? So you've just said he's best striker. You think he's better than Haaland?
He's a better footballer than Haaland.
He is. I can't say that. Of course he is.
But if you're putting him that high,
Kane would have scored what Haaland has scored for.
Definitely. Yeah, I agree. I think he would have made them a better team.
But I think that therein lies the argument that we're talking about Haaland and all that, and that's where Kane's argument is. You can't put him in the same. He's not a legend in the same way that Aguero, Henry, Shearer.
No, but I think
hold on a second.
Hold on, man. At the moment,
try and analyse Harry Kane and not make it like the question that we have to do here isn't take into account the teams that they played for and the team success. We have to analyse the footballer.
It's called a prime debate.
Yeah.
So I can give you a moment where Sergio Aguero was in his prime. There's different arguments. He scored goals in cup finals to win City a cup final. He scored goals to help City win a Premier League title.
He cried in the Champions League final. Cried.
Why do you have to bring that up to debase a very, very good argument that I'm making?
No, because you like
What is Harry Kane's prime?
No, because you like to... Because you were saying about Kane. You were saying about
his prime.
Do you know why you can't tell his prime? Because he's never not dipped from absolute excellence throughout his entire career.
He's definitely dipped. There's a moment after the overlap debate when he was crying to Gary Neville on a YouTube video to leave Tottenham.
Nothing to do with his.
That was when he was desperate to leave. Yeah, the few months when he came back, he did.
That was about a month where he doesn't playing, and then he came back and he was fine.
I don't know what Harry Kane's prime has ever contributed towards football. His prime, arguably, was when he was on fire at the World Cup, got to the World Cup semi-final, and he bottled the biggest moment of his sporting career.
Yeah, but you've just said that Sergio Aguero crying in the Champions League final.
I didn't just say that.
You said it doesn't matter.
He got brought on for 5 minutes against a very good defence.
Yeah, but you said it doesn't matter. You're making it all about Kane not delivering at the biggest opportunity.
Well,
Sergio Aguero was part of the team that got to the Champions League final and cried.
Rory, would you?
At the back end of his career, that's not fair. That's not a fair assessment.
No, it's not fair because you don't
Aguero
like
in his prime, when he first joined, he won a Premier League in his first season. His goal contributed towards it. It's one of the most famous goals in the history of English football.
Christ alive, Romero is nuts. He's absolutely nuts.
I think this is very harsh on Kane.
Can I ask you a question, Rory, that might help get to the bottom of this? Is if you had to choose between Aguero or Kane to play for Chelsea for 8 years, who would you have chosen?
See, the thing is with this direct comparison, the one. Like, I rate Aguero so highly.
Of course, he was a great player.
I rate Aguero so highly. But the interesting one, I think, is actually Alan Shearer in this.
Yeah, well, that's the question.
I like Buvey.
We've got to move Aguero away.
That's why I was trying to sort of find out where Buvey rated Shearer, because I rate Shearer incredibly highly. But I do think that Harry Kane is better overall as a player than Alan Shearer was. I think that the volume of goals that he scored is comparable. I think he'll break his record. And then as a footballer, he's much better. And also, Shearer was playing in an era where a lot more goals are scored. It's a lot easier to be a great goal scorer then.
Didn't have VAR chalking off goals.
Shearer's playing against some unbelievable. I mean, Kane's playing against some terrible centre backs. As a generation of footballers, we're seeing some of the worst.
Mate, have you ever seen Erland Johnson play football? Have you ever seen Jacob Bjelberg play football? There was some terrible centre halves about then as well.
Scoring goals against Ferdinand, Ledley Kings of the world.
Yeah, but also Frank Sinclair. Like, you can't just go, there were good centre backs then and start naming like Ledley King. I could name hundreds of people.
I think there's a common narrative within modern football that the centre backs that we saw of yesteryear are of a much, on average, of course there are good and bad centre backs in every generation.
No, but you're thinking
on average the quality of defending in football has changed.
Not Shearer's era.
Possession-based
not Shearer's era. You're talking
Shearer's
later.
Had to do it against physical.
No, you brought up Ledley King. Ledley King, Alan Shearer would be different.
I think there's a genuine argument that Alan Shearer right now scores more goals than Harry Kane.
But Buvey, you're mixing eras, mate.
Yeah, but yes! Wow.
Harry Kane.
Don't speak his name.
2-0. Flat.
Dear.
Wow.
Dear, oh dear. That's sacked, isn't it? That's him gone. Like,
you think
sacked?
If it's not, is there a touch of offside to where Kane was?
Oh,
no.
I hope it's not brought back.
Is there?
This is my opinion. Yeah.
Oh, look.
Mudryk, pat on the back.
No.
Miles on. Good finish.
Good finish as well behind him.
From a class striker.
By the way, lads, we said 8 years is a kind of arbitrary thing. It's a prime debate. So we've done these debates before.
Yeah.
In their prime, for one game, a World Cup final for Team X, Champions League final for Team X, it's clearly Sergio Aguero. He can do. He's got a better range of finishing. He can link up play better than both. We talk about Harry Kane dropping deep. Aguero used to do that for Atletico Madrid. He can carry the ball better than Harry Kane.
I get the
finisher.
I get the prime argument, right? But Shearer and Kane done so much more in lesser teams. They had less opportunity to have those moments because Man City, the machine that Man City is,
to say
he benefited massively from.
I think you could make the argument about Haaland right now getting the benefit of all this service and stuff like that. Aguero had to do a lot of work by himself.
He had a great
David
lot of
Silva.
work. Yeah, come on.
Yeah, a lot of work. But look at the kind of
Shearer was doing it
goals
with
that Aguero
Newcastle.
did. He created out of off his own back.
And not even like Newcastle had periods of having great sides. You know, thinking Bobby Robson.
Then they had periods.
That doesn't diminish.
Yeah, but Shearer was the constant.
It doesn't diminish
Shearer scoring
Aguero's
loads of goals
quality.
at Southampton.
And two cruciates.
It doesn't diminish. Lionel Messi had a lot of world-class players around him as well. It doesn't diminish the unbelievable goal he scored against Real Madrid in the Champions League semi-final. Doesn't make it worse.
I'm saying that he's had more opportunity to be brilliant.
What is Kane's prime then? Give me a game where
He's never not really been at.
he did nothing in the Champions League final. He did nothing in the World Cup semi-final. He did nothing in the quarter-final of the World
When
Cup.
I flag Aguero crying in the Champions League, you don't like it.
Because it was the end of his career. For 5 minutes, he was a sub.
You keep flagging Kane's bad moment, and then as soon as I say Aguero cried, you go.
6 months later,
you start
Aguero had
crying.
to retire because of heart condition. It's at the end of his career.
What's the point about him crying? Like, why is it?
Well, it was a massive moment for him. It was the biggest moment in his club career.
Yeah.
And he cried.
Well, so what if he cried?
Well, he didn't perform. He didn't win it.
Right.
I'm backing you up here as well, mate. I don't really care. Fuck you. Say shit.
I'm just like, well, who cares if he cried?
Well, I'm saying cried.
wasn't good
I'm
enough.
saying cried because he wasn't good enough and they lost.
He's using crying for dramatic effect to kind of debase the argument. Ultimately, Aguero in his prime for Man City, I'd argue it's the first season he joined. Some of the goals he scored, we've still not seen Harry Kane score that amount of goals in a Premier League winning season or an FA Cup winning season.
You're never going to
or a League Cup
Tottenham,
final when Aguero chipped the keeper.
But you're never going to.
In the League Cup
You're never
final.
going to because he hasn't got David Silva and Yaya Toure wrapped around him.
He's not playing for Rotherham.
If he was playing for Man City, he would have had all of these moments.
You just kept calling them average.
Mate, we've seen Harry Kane.
And then you're going, but he's not playing for Rotherham.
So we're talking about club football where, of course, Harry Kane cannot control that he's not playing with David Silva. I get that, okay? So let's move to the national level where Alan Shearer was fantastic for England. He had a fantastic time. So did Aguero for Argentina.
Harry Kane will score more goals for England than Alan Shearer.
Yeah, Alan Shearer don't forget he had a lot of injuries, a lot of different striking options, Andy Cole, etc. All these different guys.
You can't have caveats for him and then not
Harry
not
Kane,
consider
on
the
a
Kane
sporting
one.
level, had the biggest moment of his career was a penalty against France. And he absolutely bottled it. He absolutely
that was a
bottled it.
choke. That was a sporting choke.
You missed the penalty.
Yeah, it was that was a sporting choke. They happen.
Yeah.
I think like I
we're talking
do
about the
think that
elite
Aguero. I do think Aguero's number one on this. The one I think is more up for debate, and Buvey, I was surprised that you just awarded it to Shearer because I do.
Well, you think Aguero's number one?
I think Aguero
Easily.
I think Aguero. It's so
easily.
it's so difficult to argue with. It's so difficult to argue with the facts, like just the goals and the goals and the trophies. It's so difficult.
It's because his prime is directly linked to that
That era of
incredible
City,
Man City team, and it's. All three answers could be correct,
if
but
Harry
it
Kane,
depends on what parameters you want to accept.
I think Harry Kane is overall a better footballer than Aguero, but Aguero never.
Well, he's a better finisher.
I think Aguero's better. I think Aguero's a better player than. I think Shearer is. For fuck's sake! I think Kane is a better player, but you can't argue with. Can't argue with the trophies.
Would Aguero would have done for Tottenham what Kane has done?
Yes, I think there's a really big argument.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Break an all-time goal scoring record. I don't think he would have done.
No, I don't think he would have done. But then
he's got a better game to goal ratio in the Premier League than Harry Kane does. He's got the best game to goal ratio of any of the 10 strikers we talk about as the best of all time. He's got the best.
Do we not factor in the fact that it's David Silva and Yaya Toure?
No, because the goal. Oh, sorry, but because the goals that Aguero scored were not. If it's Erling Haaland, you're bang on. You're bang on. But some of the goals Aguero scored, they're out of this world. They're created out of nothing. They're near post into the roof of the net. They're half volleys. They're sometimes him taking the ball from a deep position and scoring from 30 yards out.
So where do you rate Aguero in the all-time?
He's the second best striker in the history of the Premier League, and Thierry Henry's number one for me. He always will be until I see anything different. Mad different. It's Henry number one. It's Aguero number two. Shearer number three. And Harry Kane's maybe in the top 10. Maybe in the top 10.
Kane's definitely
maybe
top 5,
in top
surely.
7. Seriously.
I don't know. Mate.
Seriously.
Top 7.
I think it's a massive argument. We're talking about strikers. Goals have to lead somewhere. Matt Letizia was an incredibly talented guy. But sometimes talented players have to go and win things with their talent.
You're talking about the individual talents then. You're talking about the team that they play in. That's not what the conversation is, as I understand it. Who is the best striker in their prime? It doesn't say, well, Aguero is the best because he had the best players around him.
The prime means... Your prime is a World Cup final. It's a Champions League final. It's an FA Cup final.
Isn't it when you're playing your best?
Yeah, if you get to the FA Cup final in your prime.
Harry Kane's best has not been at any level. The biggest moment of Harry Kane's career then at club level was a Champions League final where he was absolutely absent. He was a ghost in that final. He did absolutely nothing in that final.
He was injured though, to be fair.
But why is he playing then?
Well, it's on Pochettino.
Well, Aguero was injured in the Champions League final then.
Boys, what do you think the chat has voted?
I think the chat will vote Aguero, Kane, Shearer.
Yeah. Recency bias.
Aguero, 44%. Shearer, 29%. Kane, 27%.
So much more respect should be put on his name.
Yeah, I agree.
I think Teller's the better striker.
I think weirdly, everybody... There's been quite a long, heated debate and argument here, which has been great. But weirdly, I think everybody's kind of agreeing on the same point. Sergio Aguero was brilliant. Harry Kane is exceptional and incredible and probably doesn't get the respect he deserves because he's not won anything.
Yeah.
I think everybody's kind of in agreement.
Is Harry Kane's prime then better than Suarez's prime in the Premier League for a prime season?
No, but neither is Suarez's season. Suarez's single season was better than anything Aguero ever did as well.
Fine.
Suarez's single season. No, I don't think anybody's had one single season like him.
The tricky thing about this conversation is you're talking about like periods of form.
Yeah.
Like who had the best periods of form.
Yeah.
And the fact is that like in terms of like the debate about the best Premier League striker, I think the conversation can only be between Shearer and Kane, right? And before you jump on me,
Henry.
No, Henry isn't in the conversation.
Oh, really?
No, not in the conversation. I've said this everywhere I go. I say the same thing. Harry Kane is a better striker than Henry. Scored more goals. It's not a question.
He's not, man. He's not.
I mean, it's all.
Sorry, man.
It's all about opinions, isn't it?
No, of course. Look, Thierry Henry did everything better than Harry Kane. He can carry the ball better. I think he's a better finisher than Harry Kane.
Terrible pass from Kane there.
I think Kane gets away with the link-up play a lot.
Link-up play is good, though. I don't understand why...
Everyone's obsessed with he's dropping deep and all that. Go up top and score more goals. Go up top and score more goals.
You're arguing in a very weird way here.
Yeah.
Like, you to be snide and not appreciating link-up play, it doesn't really suit you.
When Flav says he's better than Thierry Henry because he's all round a better striker because of that. If Henry was asked to build up play like at Spurs, then he'd do a better high level.
Score more goals. So give me a fact that it isn't true.
Against Burnley.
Score more goals.
Burnley and West Brom.
I'm just giving you...
I'd take half the amount of goals and the quality
against Arsenal, you know.
What about the goal that Henry scored at White Hart Lane to win the Premier League?
Oh, he scored. That was a goal.
Yeah, that won the Premier League.
Kane scores
goals. Goals don't exist in a vacuum. They're just here for highlight reels. Goals actually they carry a side towards things, towards trophies. It's a sport. It's like a gold medal in the Olympics. Kane's done zero of that at any level. You know that he's won zero.
Score more goals.
That's not his fault.
Score more goals, hasn't he?
So he's got a better goal.
Ergo, better striker than.
I think Flav wins the debate because he used the word ergo.